What's up, guys? It's Christian here, and today I'll be telling you why I believe Jayson Tatum of the Boston Celtics has the ability to be a multi-time All-Star and a potential NBA superstar. He is just that good right now, and he's only a rookie, and he just finished his first year, and they got the freaking conference finals without two of their best players. Honestly, the sky is the limit for this guy, and I'm here to tell you why. So obviously, he was the third pick of the NBA draft last year. The Celtics traded their first pick to the 76ers, which they took Markelle Fultz. And the Celtics reportedly said that if they still kept the first pick, they would have taken Tatum anyway. So why not just move down 2 picks and get better assets, just like Danny Ainge is the best GM of the league. So that's just great business from him. And I don't disagree with anything he did because obviously they got the player they wanted. Either pick would have happened, so that's just great business from him. Obviously, he was one of their better players, even though coming in he wasn't necessarily supposed to be that because they had Kyrie, they had Gordon Hayward, they had Al Horford, even Jaylen Brown too. But Jaylen Brown, that's another fantastic player that blossomed this year. Jayson Tatum, he averaged 13.9 points in the regular season, 5 rebounds, and 1.6 assists, playing 30.5 minutes. So that's pretty good for a rookie. I mean, if you compare that to Donovan Mitchell or Ben Simmons, it might be a little less. But if you look at the impact he had on the team, that's just the difference between Ben Simmons and Jayson Tatum, and Ben Simmons and Jayson Tatum and Donovan Mitchell. There's a big difference between the three. He shot 47% from the field, 43% from 3, and 82% from the free throw line. Not bad. 43% from the 3 in this modern era. It's pretty good. 1.4 turnovers per game, so he doesn't turn the ball over that much. 0.7 blocks per game and 1 steal per game, so the defense will get better, but that's not the point. That's not where he's at his best anyway. He attempted 3.2 free throws per game, which is average, maybe a little above average, so that's good too, and he's going to have the ball more as he gets older and into his prime of his career and stuff. So obviously, his postseason stats were bumped up a lot as he was asked to carry the team along with Jaylen Brown and Al Horford since Kyrie got hurt late in the season and Gordon Hayward obviously got hurt within 6 minutes of the first game of the season. Averaged 35.9 minutes per game, 18.5 points, 4.4 rebounds, and 2.7 assists. So obviously the points were up there. But if you looked at, if you watched some of the games against the Cavs and the 76ers, he was carrying them. They almost won against the LeBron James Cavaliers when it was literally LeBron versus 5 players. Obviously, LeBron is incredible, best player of all time, arguably, but it's probably still Michael Jordan. But in the era, he's probably the best player. But obviously, Jayson Tatum held his own on him. If you remember the dunk he had on him, he was carrying in that Game 7 with Jaylen Brown again, and they almost won, but obviously they didn't have the talent there. But if they add back Kyrie, they add back Gordon Hayward, they might make the finals easily, because the only other teams in the East that are actually decent are the 76ers, maybe the Raptors, maybe the Bucks, like the Pacers. They're going to make the finals most likely as long as Kyrie comes back almost 100% and Gordon Hayward's any version of himself from when he was with Utah. Obviously, if you look at how much importance he was to the team, especially in the playoffs, there's no reason why he can't be one of the best players to come out of that draft. He's probably going to carry the team once Kyrie leaves, which could happen next year going to the Knicks or somewhere else. Gordon Hayward's going to probably, I don't know, maybe leave after his contract expires. I don't know. Al Horford's going to be there forever, but he's never going to be the star of a team anyway. Jaylen Brown's a little different, but he has, he's in between the star of a team versus the second best player, maybe the third. He's not the guy that's going to run with a team like a Russell Westbrook and average 25, 7, and 8 or something like that. He's going to be a guy that averages 18, 4, and 5 or something like that. But he's the only other guy on that team besides Kyrie, really, or Gordon Hayward, that'll really carry a team. Al Horford's not going to be that. Terry Rozier, nobody thinks he's going to be that either. So, obviously, Jayson Tatum is the best player for the future, along with Jaylen Brown, because they're both very young. One's a second-year player, one's a third-year player now. So they're pretty young. I believe Jayson Tatum's not even 20 yet, or he is 20. But either way, that means he's not even going to come to his prime of his career for 5-6 years. And he's already being a good enough player where he can guard LeBron James in a conference finals game 7 and hold his own to the point where they barely lost. And he was actually, in some cases, dunking on one of the best shot blockers at the position in the game. So he's excellent for what he is. Obviously, he went to Duke, so that's a good school for basketball, and it has the history, and everybody knows if you go to Duke and you get into the draft and you get drafted high, you're expected to do well. Obviously, there were guys like Jahlil Okafor that didn't turn out and still might not, but he could. But as of right now, he isn't. Tyus Jones, he's a little late round, though. Marvin Bagley, he's going to have to show. Grayson Allen looks like a good player, too. Gary Trent Jr. also. And Wendell Carter Jr. as well. So if you go to Duke, you get drafted high, you have to prove yourself in the NBA, because most guys that go to Duke and get drafted high, typically one-and-done players, which might get that might go away now. But either way, if you go to Duke, you have to play pretty good in the NBA to prove to people that you had a decent career, considering you got recruited or you were a walk-on to Duke and you played for one of the best schools and one of the best coaches in college. Another great thing that will help him play very well in the NBA is Brad Stevens, his coach. Obviously, many people believe that he and Greg Popovich and a few other guys, Quinn Snyder as well, are the top coaches in the NBA. And Brad Stevens is known for making a team that's necessarily not as talented, but getting them to their max or even above their max. If you think of the team with Isaiah Thomas, I don't think anybody really expected Isaiah Thomas to be an MVP candidate, and now look at his career. Obviously, injuries and teams, I guess, or issues with him, but either way, if you think of Isaiah Thomas, the last pick of the draft, who really thought that he could be a guy who averages a ton of points, 20, 26 plus, or something like in the 28 range maybe, and lead a team into the conference finals? Obviously, he was playing with a hip problem. His sister died. But either way, Brad Stevens is one of the reasons why he was such a good player. Obviously, they had other talent around him, but he was the best player on the team before Kyrie and Gordon Hayward and all those guys were here. But if you think and look at all these players that Brad Stevens has coached from in college at Butler to now in the Celtics organization, they get better when they're in Boston typically. Or players go to Boston because they know they're going to play under a good coach, just like some people go to San Antonio to play for him, or Quinn Snyder in Utah. There's guys that go to certain places because they know they'll play well under the system that they run. And Brad Stevens is just one example of those coaches that actually runs a good system in the NBA versus something like just run and gun like the Rockets with D'Antoni, which many criticize for him. Brad Stevens is a little different with the players they have versus the players that Houston have. He runs a better system than Houston Rockets do. That's not a debate. I don't think there's any way that Jayson Tatum won't become an NBA All-Star just because of how well he played when he was asked to carry a team in the playoffs as an 18, 19-year-old. And if he does that going forward into a prime of a career, when probably Kyrie isn't there, Gordon Hayward probably won't be there, it's probably going to be Jaylen Brown and him carrying the team for the next decade or so, maybe, if they're loyal to the Celtics. He might win an NBA he probably will win an NBA championship in that span, because if Kyrie stays, Gordon Hayward stays, they could challenge the Warriors. And once the Warriors die down a little bit, they'll probably win maybe 2 or 3 if things go really well. So he has the ability to be an NBA champion, probably a Finals MVP, maybe if they win the championship. An NBA All-Star for sure. I mean, I don't think anybody sees that he won't be one now, considering how they played in the playoffs, in the conference finals, how he played individually. There's no reason why he won't be an NBA All-Star within maybe a second or third year. Like, that's probably at least third year he'll definitely be an all-star. I think Donovan Mitchell too as well. Ben Simmons, they're all going to be all-stars. This is a good draft class, and Jayson Tatum's a perfect example of why this draft class is so good, because he was going to get picked up number 1, and then they moved to number 3 and still got who they wanted. And the Sixers considered, with their GM being a decent organization, picked Markelle Fultz, who might still turn out to be a good player, but I don't think he'll be the same player Jayson Tatum will be on the star level wise, because I think Jayson Tatum's by far a better player than Markelle Fultz, no matter what. And there's players deeper in this draft that are much better than Markelle Fultz, but that's a whole different story. So this is what I think about Jayson Tatum and what his career could possibly be. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Please like, subscribe, and just let me know what you think.